Okay, so this first one here, we got 5 over 15 is 5 over 3 times 5. So this step is correct. And then we cross cancel the 5s. And the question is that 0 over 3 or what? What was the mistake there, right? Right. So what you could do is, what I always try to get students to do is, don't just cross it out and pretend it went away. You go 5 into 5 goes once. 5 into 5 goes once. See that? So those ones help you avoid these type of errors. Because on the top of the fraction we have a 1. On the bottom of the fraction we have 3 times 1. 3. Right? So it's 1/3. See that? Yeah, 1/3. Yeah, so if I'm to be really crazy about it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and try to ignore this part. It's a mess, sorry. But here's a rectangle split into 15ths. And if I take, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, that 5/15ths is the same thing as, 1/3 is the idea, right? And what's left over is your 10/15ths or 2/3. And they both add to 1, right? This is 15/15ths. When you add them in, this is 3/3. All right, so anyway, but that's the idea. 5/15ths is the same thing as 1/3. Yep. Okay, and the next one. Alrighty, so 5/6 apparently is 3 plus 2 over 4 plus 2. And then somebody crossed the 2's off and they got somehow 0 over 4. So lots of mistakes here. In fact, the first part is fine. I mean, 5/6, 5 is 3 and 2. 3 and 2 makes 5. That's okay. 4 and 2 makes 6, okay? You can't cross cancel when you've got things being added or subtracted on the top. So this part here where they're cross cancelling, this part here, that's wrong, right? That's wrong here. You can't do that because you've just changed the fraction, right? So let's say you cross those off and you said, okay, 5/6 is, say, 3/4. Well, sorry, if you said 5/6 is 3/4, well, 5/6 is just not 3/4. I mean, like here's okay, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here's a rectangle split into 6, right? And if I shade 5 of those, that's 5/6. Okay, that's 5/6. That's 5/6 there, right? It's not 3/4 because if I took that same rectangle and split it into quarters, so there's a half, and here's quarters, right? Okay, so now this is 3/4. 1, 2, 3. Like those are really not the same thing. Do you know what I mean? 3/4. It's not the same thing as 5/6. 5/6 actually a bit more. And it's certainly not 0/4 because 0/4 is just 0, right? So 5/6 3/4, 0/4 or 0. Definitely wrong. And the mistake is you cannot cross cancel when we've got things being added or subtracted on the top of a fraction, right? In a fraction. We can cross cancel if it's being multiplied, but this doesn't simplify. But if I had, say, let's say I had 10/12ths, okay? Now 10 is 2 times what? 5, right? And 12 is 2 times what? 6. I have factors on the top and bottom here. I can cross cancel the factors. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 and 2 goes once. 10/12ths becomes 1 times 5, 5, 1 times 6, 6. 10/12ths is the same thing as 5/6, right? For example. Or anything. I mean, let's see. 6 tenths. Okay. 6 is 2 times what? 3. And 10 is 2 times what? Right. We can cross cancel these 2's because they're factors. When things are being multiplied on the top and bottom of a fraction, now you can cross them off and get 3/5. And 6 tenths is 3/5. Does that make sense? Right. So those make sense. But when they're being added or subtracted, can't do that. So that's the mistake there. And it certainly doesn't make 0 anything. So there's actually 2 mistakes in that. All right. So I see my students make this mistake all the time. 6/30 equals this. They cross off the 2's. They cross off the 3's. So the mistake is, to me, the mistake is you didn't put your 1's in. If you put your 1's above the 2 and the 3, you're not going to make this mistake. Okay? So this is wrong. This is not correct. I'm going to do it again. And what I think is, students take classes like English, where they have to write paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of stuff. Then when they come to math, it makes me frustrated to think, you guys don't want to write stuff out. I mean, I'm not asking you to write out a Shakespeare monologue. I'm asking you to just do this. Put a 1 up there. That's all I'm asking, So I'm going on a bit of a math teacher rant here. But in general math, you want to write out more than... Most students need to show more of their work than they do. With math, I think the tendency is you just want to look at something and get the answer in your head and write down the answer, Not a good idea. Show your work neatly and clearly, step by step, right? Put those 1's in. Because it's hard to make this mistake if you've got 1's there. Because it's 1 times 1 is 1 on the top of the fraction. 1 times 1 times 5 on the bottom makes 5. See that? And 5 is not the same thing as 1/5. Look, 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 circles. Now 1/5 is just like 1/5 of a circle. It's like that. So 5 and 1/5, not the same thing. 5 is actually 5 over 1. 1/5 is 1 over 5. Totally different, right? So yeah, we're forgetting to put our 1's in. Just for fun, let me give you all another one. Just for fun, do, let's see, do 2 over 16. What does that give you? Right, because we go 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 16 goes 8 times. This is 1/8, not 8. It's 1/8. It's not 8, right? 8 is 8 over 1. Totally different animal, right? 1/8. 8, not same thing. Do you want $8 or do you want 1/8 of a dollar? Do you want, so, all right.